tonight. In fact, a few could turn severe. I'll let you know when and where.
Suddenly this morning was nice. We watched a couple of showers race through about 2-3 o'clock, just some really nice rain. And then we're going to be looking at
off to the eastern plains, and we're once again tapping back into that monsoon flow. We have an area of low pressure anchored across parts of the inland northwest, high pressure just to our east, and that is allowing moisture from the Gulf as well as the Pacific to push back into southwestern Colorado. So unfortunately, it might just be too much of a good thing, as flash flooding is likely. A flood watch will remain in effect tonight and then all the way throughout the day tomorrow as well. 1 to 2 inches possible with those slow moving thunderstorms in just about 30 to 45 minutes time. And we have already seen a couple of flash flood warnings out there. Heavier rain showers between Durango and Pagosa Springs up toward Lake City. So watch Salida bracing for some stronger storms, and even to the west towards Steamboat, looking at some heavier rain showers. We do have one severe cell out there in Weld County, a whole lot of lightning and some heavy rain to actually wind down just a bit. Tonight, I would say by about 9-10 p.m., the city will be done with the storms as temperatures fall into the 50s to low 60s here in eastern Colorado, but 30s and 40s up in the mountains. Looking at the futurecast, I'm going to fire this up about 7 p.m. or so. The storms widespread through the mountains, and they'll continue throughout the night. The eastern side of the state will start to dry things out, but keep the cloud cover with us overnight into your Friday morning. By about 7 a.m., kind of a soggy start to the day along I-70. So if you're driving in that direction, probably have to flip on the windshield wipers. Rain showers around the San Juans, and that's just going to be the name of the game as the afternoon wears on. On and off showers and storms. By 3-4 o'clock, we'll be watching those storms in the foothills, possibly a few racing across the I-25 corridor. And then later tomorrow evening, 7-8 o'clock, if you have any Friday evening plans, will once again need the umbrella as another round rolls through right around then. By 11 o'clock, most of the action east of the city and also to the south toward Pueblo and Colorado Springs. Just general garden variety storms expected tomorrow afternoon here in Denver, but that bullseye for trouble remains in place out to western Colorado. The cloud cover is with us tomorrow. Temperatures will be slightly cooler too. We'll look for highs in the upper 70s to low 80s for the metro area. Still pretty hot out to the eastern plains, and then with all the cloud cover and the rain, we'll be looking at highs pretty much only in the 50s and 60s up through the mountains. Looking at the Super 7-day forecast, we cool things off to the upper.
Danielle,
Yay!
It's her last day before going on maternity leave. You wore blue. It was fitting.
As he will be here before we know it.
Yes, and we're looking forward to at least a couple more shows with Danielle tonight.
I'll be here through 10.
World News Tonight and then.
In fact, a few could turn severe. I'll let you know when. And looking off to the west, it looks a little bit more daunting out there. A little less sunshine as the storms remain, especially across the mountains and through the foothills tonight. And they're going to be ongoing overnight into tomorrow as well. You're right. It was a warm one. Highs above average in the mid 80s here in Denver, but low 90s in northern Colorado and across the eastern plains. It was a scorcher out there. Some 70s, low 80s throughout the high country and close to 90 in Grand Junction. Temps are going to be cooling off, however, as we're watching more cloud cover and more storms moving in. With the way the setup is right now, high pressure skirting off to the east, it's allowing that clockwise flow to draw in some moisture from the monsoon. So that just means the moisture coming in from the tropics is racing across Colorado, especially the southwestern side of the state. So much so that a flood watch is in effect until midnight tomorrow. So we still have another solid 24 hours to go, where we could be looking at 1 to 2 inches of water within some of these thunderstorms just in about 30 to 45 minutes time. The satellite and radar has been quite active for us. We've been tracking some pretty strong storms down there across the San Juans, nice rain showers through Alamosa, the San Luis Valley up towards Salida, and then in and around Steamboat, a rumble of thunder, a little bit of lightning, and then south along I-70 through Glenwood Springs. Pretty quiet for now up and down the I-25 corridor. Tonight we'll be watching the storms pushing out by about 9 p.m. here in the city. Temps falling into the 50s, 60s across the eastern side of the state. A little cooler up in the mountains with 30s and 40s. So here's the futurecast, 7 p.m. Storms still going strong toward the San Juans. By about 11 p.m., the cloud cover is in place for most of eastern Colorado, and then by morning, we're looking at more showers. So kind of a soggy start out to the west with mostly cloudy skies early tomorrow morning here in Denver. I would say by 3-4 o'clock, those showers in the foothills potentially will be racing across the I-25 corridor, and then we'll get another round that cruises in probably about 7-8 o'clock here to the Denver area. It zips right on off to the northeast, and by 11 p.m. we've quieted things down here in the city, but storms still will be going off across the state. The bullseye for trouble tomorrow will be once again across far western Colorado, where we we could see a couple of severe cells. Looking at the hour-by-hour planner, temps tomorrow staying in the upper 70s to low 80s. Overall, mostly cloudy skies out there with those storms later on in the afternoon. Still a hot one off to the eastern side of these, though. Up through the mountains, a little cooler in the upper 50s around Winter Park. Looking ahead toward the week, kick off the weekend. So more of the same, more widespread storms, especially across western Colorado and through the high country. This is our vantage point in downtown Denver, looking off to the west. Certainly more ominous, some curtains of rainfall coming down, but this is the pattern that we typically see when we can really tap into the monsoon flow. High pressure just to the east of Colorado. We have an area of low pressure just to our north and to our west, with clockwise rotation across this ridge of high pressure, counterclockwise rotation around that low that allows the moisture from the Gulf, from the Pacific to stream in basically like a fire hose and take direct aim across southwestern Colorado and through the mountains. So more monsoon moisture on the way. In fact, flood watch in play until midnight tomorrow night. This just means heavy rains will be coming through. Looking at the radar tonight, most of the action across the western slope along I-70 with some heavy rain showers. We're pretty quiet, you guys, right now for the I-25 corridor. Could see a couple of storms later this evening. Otherwise, we're going to do it all over again tomorrow. And then the storms become a bit more widespread for us on Saturday. We'll chat more about that in just a bit.
Right, rinse
Time.
it.
It's almost here, technically.
So close.
Fall, yeah. Winter?
No winter.
All right.
Winter is not
We draw the
coming.
line there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. Tonight, we want to leave you with a moment honoring the lives lost 24 years ago today.
Yeah, Denver 7 photojournalist Eric Valenzuela takes us to the annual 9/11 stair climb out at Red Rocks.